on the line with me now, the assistant coach of a Busy Bees Rugby Football Club, Siyabonga Hani. Siya, great to see you again. How are things there with you?
I'm good, JP. It's great to be back after a dry season. Hopefully that we'll come back to playing on the field this season.
Siya, you're always involved with everything at Western Province. Fantastic to see how committed you are and how committed you are to the club. Over the last few weeks, we had a chat with Sibella from Young Ideas, Mzu from Langa. The guys are staying connected. They're coming up with creative ways to make sure that the players stay connected. This is all in the absence of rugby, but they're finding the gears and making sure that the spirit is still there. How are things going at Busy Bees?
Right. We've started organizing ourselves this year. We've been doing a lot of recruitment from guys who are in Cape Town and guys who are outside Cape Town. So we've been trying to connect the guys a lot, getting people who have maybe moved from from the Eastern Cape or other areas of the country to come and stay this side. So we've been trying to, we had a whole year of not having rugby.
Yeah.
So some of the guys, you might have lost them in the space. So we're trying to get them as much as we can, whether they come back as players or whether they come back as management or coaching staff and so on.
You've just raised an interesting question for me. We know that there's an annual Easter weekend tournament where many of the teams travel around the country, and in fact that tournament rotates to different clubs. And of course, so my question to you is, well, I mean, if you're traveling like that, obviously you all know each other, and all the clubs must know each other, and the history of each other. Does Busy Bees have a big reputation amongst the rest of the country? I mean, that's a kind of an unusual scenario.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, even if you go to the Eastern Cape, you speak about big rugby derbies, you would mention Busy Bee around that. So when guys come to Cape Town, they would want to play for Busy Bee, right? And there's that whole set of network around players. So anyone who comes here will mention Busy Bee, will mention Langa, will mention Laguna and Blue Jets.
Yeah.
So that whole network that is built there creates that strong competitiveness around the clubs. The Easter tournament is one of the biggest events, but at the end of the day, we Busy Bee are celebrating our 100th year in 2023. So we also trying to create or to use that as a build up to that big event.
Yeah, but I mean, Busy Bee is a very active club. You don't only have a senior team, men's senior team. You've also got a very active women's rugby side, and of course we've spoken to some of last year we spoke to some of the ladies, and every time we spoke about derbies for women's rugby, Busy Bees was one of the teams that got mentioned.
Yeah, it's quite a big sector in our club, the women's side. For example, now we have one of our players at Stellenbosch, and Busy Bee is basically in Western Province. We have won the 2 consecutive women's a league, and we came second at the club champs. So we played second. We came second place at the club champs. So when you talk about women's rugby in the country, you cannot mention Busy Bee.
Yeah.
I mean, that is one of the biggest clubs. I mean, I argue a lot of times with the guys from there's Titans in George. They always say, okay, Busy Bee could be the best, but not the biggest. And I always say to them, but none of them have came through to us, and you were able to show how big or how best we have been. So we're also looking at this year on taking a little bit of time to develop more of the women's rugby. We have juniors coming in, a lot of them who were supposed to be on the under 20 SA squad. But unfortunately, because of the lockdown, they didn't get that opportunity. So we're quite excited on how they will feature into the senior women's side. So the whole development, like it's a living organism that is waiting just for that opportunity.
When we spoke to Zukisi Gwadushe, of course, the chairperson of Langa last week, we asked him about some of the derbies. Now he said that there's a number of derbies. We've asked every club, what do you think that your big derby is? And one of the derbies, and he mentioned that there are a number of derbies for them, but one of the derbies that he mentioned was that Langa Lagunya would be a big game. But from a Busy Bees perspective, what is your big derby? It's Langa, right?
I'm very shocked that you did not mention the Langa Busy Bee derby, because that's basically the biggest derby you'll ever find at Western Province. Super League B. So we were looking forward to it, especially that Langa got just promoted into the Super League B, and were uh, we were there before them. So it would have been a big showcase. I mean, who's better than who, and so on. So it would have been a big showcase, and we're still looking forward to how it will turn out, probably in the current year.
I believe also that you're busy with supporting some of the juniors and shall I say, the periphery of Busy Bees with some nutrition help.
Yeah. Development is our backbone. We can't. The team is built from development players, from young guys. So this Friday we had a program where we were giving out food parcels to our juniors, especially our juniors and senior women and men, people who are struggling, because it's January now and it's after COVID. So a lot of people are uh, they're struggling in terms of getting there. So we got a couple of sponsors that gave us a couple of food parcels. So we gave them out to 60 plus people who received those gifts, those food parcels, so that you can put food on the table. That's the first thing you have to do. Put food on the table so that you can motivate children who are coming from previously disadvantaged backgrounds to come and play or to be attracted to the sport. The food parcels is not only to go to players, but it's also to motivate parents that these kids, they are going to the field and training, but they can still come back and put something on the table and show that there's future within sports and there's future within rugby and BZP.
Yeah, you guys doing a fantastic job. And talking about future, you're also looking after the future of some of the youth that have joined you through the Vusa Rugby Academy.
Yes. That's one of our biggest achievements this year. We had two boys who were playing in the Vusa development. Same boys were running with the senior and ladies on the field. Two of them, one got a scholarship at Bishops, and the other one got a scholarship at Sex. So they're following a right trend in terms of getting guys who are coming from disadvantaged areas to go into good schools so that they can get a proper foundation for them to advance their studies and also to advance their rugby.
Sia, we'll leave it at that, and we'll say thanks to you for chatting with us. Again, well done on everything that you guys keep doing. We know that you guys will keep doing it, and we'll keep talking about it. And we'll stay to you and everybody else out there. Stay safe, and we can't wait for better days.
Thanks, JP.
There we go, folks. Siyabonga Hani is, of course, assistant coach at Busy Bees, and wow, how active, how exciting. They stay connected and they keep looking after each other. It's what club rugby is about. Folks, we'll take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we carry on talking about club rugby in Western Province. Back in a sec.